here's the thing about that. I dismissed it for a long time, and I said it's nonsense. And I actually had lunch once. Eric Weinstein took me to lunch at Peter Thiel's house, where we talked to Von Daniken. And it was fun conversation, interesting. I'm talking to. He's a full-on true believer.
Well, Von Daniken. Yeah, fully.
Of the alien theory, the ancient aliens theory. And I've gone in like multiple stages in my cognitive dissonance. And for a while, I was all in with the aliens.
I hear you. I'm the same, though.
And then for a while, I was like, no. There was an advanced civilization, and we're just a rebuilding of that civilization. And that's probably why we're so barbaric. And now I'm like, why are they mutually exclusive?
Right. It could be a mix.
Yeah, I don't think they are mutually exclusive.
At one point, the gods walked amongst us, you know?
Right. And that's when I see the things like the tridactyl mummies, and I'm like, okay. What is that? What are we talking? Why is Peru so weird? Why do they have artwork that you can only see from the sky? Like, there's a lot of weird shit going on here. Like, don't be so quick to jump.
Exactly.
But my point is, like, I have always been fascinated by stories, first of all, any subject that makes you ridiculous for considering it. I'm always like, what's that about?
Yeah.
Why is that
Scratch
ridiculous?
that itch a little bit. Yeah.
Even the kooky ones, like ghosts.
Yeah.
Bigfoot. All the kooky ones. Yeah. Like, why? What's the resistance?
I had
why
a Russian astronaut tell me a Bigfoot story.
Yeah. What did he say?
Well, pinch of salt, but he claimed that he had been told this by a military guy out in Russia that they were in the rec room of this like Air Force base, and apparently, this is according to this Russian astronaut trainer at the Yuri Gagarin Space Center in Moscow, and he said that this Yeti Sasquatch type being apparently just walked into their rec room, helped itself to some water from the water thing, waved, and then vanished. I don't know.
So this guy, what was his job?
He was a trainer of astronauts at the Yuri Gagarin Space Center in Star City, Moscow.
Bro, they probably dosed him up with so many fucking
bet they did.
MK Ultra drugs.
Yeah, I mean,
if you're holding on to that kind of information,
it's an interesting story.
They probably experiment on you. Yeah, they probably gave that guy some acid.
I've never given the Sasquatch thing its due course in researching it. To be honest, I've been very dismissive of that. But maybe it's real.
I have.
I mean, maybe like the
I
demographic
years
behind
I used to have a Sasquatch Bigfoot footprint, like a cast, like a plaster cast on the desk. That rest in peace, Dr. Jeffrey Meldrum. He just recently died. I had him as a guest on the show once too. He's so crazy. I asked him if he was so crazy, but in a wonderful way. I said, if you could cut a finger off to know that Sasquatch was real, would you do it? He goes, yes.
Yeah, instantly.
Like, what the fuck, dude? It's your finger. Don't say yes to that.
Fuck it,
what if the information just comes out and you don't have to lose a finger?
Damn it. Just sitting there with half a finger.
I think Bigfoot was a real thing.
Yeah?
I think that's why there's so, like...
Do you think it was just like some sort of like branch of creature? Because there's so many people think it's like an interdimensional being or...
It could be that too, but I think it's Gigantopithecus initially.
Yeah.
Gigantopithecus was an absolute real thing that we didn't even know existed until I believe it was the 20s.
Yeah, around then.
The guy found its teeth in an apothecary shop in China, and then they started researching it and finding where the dig sites were. And, they found jaw bones that indicate that it was bipedal. So this is a bipedal hominid that's 8 to 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
Well, what is that? That's Bigfoot.
That is Bigfoot.
And that's probably, and also this thing 100% lived around modern human beings. Like what we are today, it lived around us. So imagine you see one of those things. Well, first of all, you're going to fucking run like hell. You're going to have stories. This thing lives in the woods or in the jungle. Stay out of this spot. That's where this thing lives. And that's going to be passed on from generation to generation to generation until even after they're gone, now it's just a whisper. Now it's just a thing. It's a mystery man that lives in the woods.
Are there like antiquated Bigfoot stories, like outside of just modern?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt. Especially Native American cultures.
Current estimates put this animal at anywhere between 200 to 300 kilograms, around triple the mass of a male orangutan, and larger than the average male gorilla.
Oh, interesting.
That's what's interesting is like Native American tribes, there's obviously, many different tribes, many different languages, right?
Yeah.
They all have a word for this thing. Let's put this into perplexity.
Yeah.
How many different Native American names are there for Bigfoot? Because I believe Sasquatch is a Native American. I don't know which tribe had that, but there's multiple different names for this hairy creature that lives in the woods. But they don't have names for like a giraffe that lives in the woods. They don't have like other mystical animals, mythical creatures. You just have this one.
Yeah.
And this one is a fucking weird one.
Well, that's what I mean with the interdimensional aspect. It's treated differently than just an animal, even from like these. Like,
that might be real too. This is part of the problem. It's like we might be dealing with multiple different things. It might not even be Gigantopithecus. Sasquatch, Skookum. That's right. I've heard that. Oma. That's right. There was a movie called Oma. The guy who did the American Werewolf in London.
That's just the last words you say when you see Bigfoot. Oh my!
Well, yeah. Chaitanka, big elder brother.
70 to 80 names.
Wicked cannibal. Oh boy. Wendigo. Wicked cannibal.
Yeah, Wendigo. I've heard that one.
Wendigo.
Yeah, I've heard that one before.
And Yetisho. How to say that? Yetiso. Yetiso?
Yeah,
big
Yetiso.
God, and that's a Navajo name. So there's a bunch of there's a bunch underneath that too.
Yeah, like it says about 70 to 80 names when accounting for variants across 50 tribes.
Okay, so what is that?
And it's the same with the alien greys, like the ant people.
Yes. Well, and then it brings to the same thing. Like it brings us to the same subject of what if there is a way to traverse dimensions? What if this is not as simple as something gets in a spaceship and it comes here from another planet? What if it's coming from another place? And what if that doorway is open to other things? And what if some of those things are Sasquatch? Like, and under the right conditions, this pathway is open.
Right.
And maybe it's not even something that it actually exists, but you can see. Exists in our tangible timeline, but you can see under heavy stress, under like anxiety. And imagine, what gets you more stressed out than being in the woods at night, right? The woods at night creates a lot of anxiety for people because there's all these sounds and you're looking around. It's dark, you're vulnerable, especially if you live in real woods, like woods that have predators in them. It's sketchy. And I bet there's different states of mind that you would, if there's some sort of a possibility, some sort of a way that an intelligent creature can get to a point where it has the technology to access other dimensions. It can go into other spaces. Would you even be able to see it all the time?
Probably
would you only be able to see it if you were like under a highly anxious state? In the woods, you're kind of a little freaked out. You're more open to weird things, and then it senses that and communicates with you.
Well,
sounds kooky.
We're dominated by our perception, and we have such a narrow bandwidth of visual perception. You know, you get up the whole light spectrum and look at visible light, just this tiny corridor of visible light that we're able to see. Obviously, we've developed IR and different. And if you film the night sky with infrared, you get weird shit. You get these orbs and things that seem to fly by. And I think that it is a perceptual thing, because the reason I even started my YouTube channel is because I've had my own experiences with UFO type phenomena that were entirely initiated by me. Like I asked for them to come and they did.
See, that sounds kooky. I'd take that clip and I'd dismiss you immediately. This guy's a quack.
Can't wait for it.
But this is one of the things that people have been saying for a long time, is that there's actual groups of people, and there was even some guy who was like somehow or another connected to the government, that was saying that they lead these people out. They go out into the desert, and they have some sort of a secret frequency. He didn't want to discuss it, that they can push out. They can send out the secret frequency, and it'll call them in, and that other people have done it simply by willing them in.
Yeah, that's what I did.
So sitting there and putting out this message that you're trying to communicate with them, and then eventually they show up.
That's it. Thanks for watching.
You were telling me you're
True, but again, there is no concrete evidence that they existed. Let's hear what they say next. Often happens to hunters due to the high density of trees and the long distance. So some small animals can act like some other, much more...
I think the Native Americans are right. I think that's what it is.
Some
I think
sort of paranormal woods thing?
I do.
Yeah.
I still claim that they exist. Yeah. Well, if it didn't exist, it would be way more interesting than Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Right? Like everybody's like so into Bigfoot being real. Like,
I don't get Bigfoot. Can you talk to me about that? Like,
Sure.
do you think what's the concept of Bigfoot? I mean, I know, okay, it's a big hairy guy, but
Yeah.
what? I mean, really? Come on, what is it?
Most likely there was interaction between human beings and something called a Gigantopithecus for thousands and thousands of years. It's a giant bipedal hominid that existed in Asia that was between 8 and 10 feet tall. It was real. And it was basically in like the orangutan family. It looks almost orangutan-like, but enormous. And that was a real thing.
Okay.
And they didn't find out about this until like the 1920s. They found a tooth in an apothecary shop in China. And an anthropologist examined this tooth. It was like, where the fuck did you get this? And they took him to the site and they dug up more things and bones and jaw bones. And they determined from the jawbone, I'm sorry if I'm fucking any of this up, scientists, but they determined from the jawbone that they think it was bipedal, that it stood up on two legs. And so then they said, well, how big would this thing be? And then in the proportionate.
Yeah, like the femur bone. Or
Have you ever seen what a real one looks like?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
just sometimes when they say like, oh, up in Michigan, I'm like, is it really like, what are they seeing?
Bullshit. Most of it is the people seeing shadows in the trees and they want to believe it's Bigfoot and they're seeing bears that are walking on two legs. But if there was a thing, what's really interesting is that's where it would be. Because if it did come across the Bering land bridge, like they believe humans did, if that did happen, the many animals navigated from there to here that way. That's where Alaska and the Pacific Northwest, that would be the natural path. And then if you think about how densely wooded that area is,
Right.
that would be a natural habitat for something that's hiding from people. The problem is you can't really hide from shit anymore. It's just
I don't
it's
think
too
so.
hard.
They'd see it from space, right?
Something would catch you on a trail camera. There's trail cameras that are everywhere. They're 4K. Like, did you see those? A guy and his father got caught poaching a mother bear in her den.
Ew.
It's horrific. It's horrible. And it's not just horrible because they poached this mother bear in their den and left the babies essentially to die, but they were talking about how they're not going to get caught doing it. Like no one's going to tie us to this. And the way they were caught, there was a 4K camera that was right behind them that was observing this whole area where this bear was denned in. They have these trail cameras now that are incredibly accurate. They're it's so high definition and super clear, and the audio's clear. They would catch one of those fucking things.
Yeah.
If there was something out there, they would see
know.
something.
But I think there is something to be said for the tooth fairy and thinking we don't know everything.
Yeah,
like
it's fun.
the magic of stuff unknown and behind. I mean, for me, it doesn't have to be Bigfoot, but I love the idea that we haven't seen everything. We don't know everything.
No.
And obviously we know that with space and who knows, when dimensions and time and universe, but something mythical is pretty fun.
Well, what's interesting is that there was a bunch of different kinds of humans. That's what's interesting.
Right.
And they found these bones in Russia that I think they call them the Denisovians. They found a set. This is within the last 10, 15 years. They found a completely different species of humans that lived in Russia. They found those little people on the island of Flores.
Right.
That was only like 10 years ago. I mean, there's probably dozens more that they just haven't uncovered somewhere. So if there was at one point in time some big giant hominid, it's totally possible.
Yeah.
I just don't think he would have to eat so much to
Right,
be
if you're
alive
almost 10
today.
feet, yeah.
To be constantly, it's like a bear.
Yeah.
Like you find bear shit everywhere. Where's the gorilla shit? Where's
Yeah.
the Bigfoot shit? Or
Right.
whatever it is. Is it eating plants? Is it eating animals? What the fuck is it eating?
Right.
It's got to eat a lot.
On that show, I tell a joke about Bigfoot. I never saw Bigfoot, but when we were on training. You do these training where you go make maps and all this shit, and we heard him.
You heard Bigfoot?
Heard Bigfoot. I heard him.
What does it sound like?
I could still do that. He does that, but everything you see on them stupid TV shows, that happened. He threw a rock. All the animals started running, and the Marine, because he's the guy who knows where the markers are, but we didn't know where the markers were. He's the one who says, "Hey, we're out of perimeter. Have you guys ever heard of Bigfoot?" Blah 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 blah. He tells us he was Native American. But he just said that, and
Where were you guys? What state?
Like Nova Scotia,
Nova Scotia.
where they do cold weather training. Yeah, and you have to make your own maps.
You sure they weren't fucking with you?
I'm pretty sure. Who threw that rock?
Somebody that was fucking with you?
No,
No.
Why you fuck with the animals too? All the animals ran too. Remember
Yeah.
how you said they know how to get away? All these fuckers just did a little mass exodus, and it's a all.
I'm very skeptical of Bigfoot.
I've never seen him, but I never heard nothing like that either.
So what if you had a? Did it sound like?
It just sounded. It was.
What was it similar to?
You ever hear Luther Vandross sing live? Like when you hear him on a record, it's one thing, but when you hear him live, he's ooh, like that. He didn't sound like that, but it was the same
Power,
like hair on the back of your neck, kind of.
Really?
What the fuck?
Well, bears do that sometimes. Bears, especially when what time of the year was it?
It was winter. Because you listen to the wind. It's like it sounds like a train coming. You have to determine where the wind is coming from and get on a tree or something because a lot of the icicles are coming like darts.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Jesus.
And that night we were joking. I was joking around about it and everything. And one of the officers says, this is a facility, and we don't. I heard you're a comedian. We don't make. Basically, you can't go on stage and go, hey, guess where I was at? So I was just in the joke. I'm just camping, and we.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but there's nobody's in the military. But and in the joke, I actually do see Bigfoot. It's a funny bit.
So tell me, how did it happen? What was going on? What were the circumstances?
We were
Lay it out for me.
Okay, you have you get because it's cold and it's raining, and so we like in a little circle. And it's kind of raining, kind of sleeting, and we're talking about we're gonna do this and do that because we're comparing shit and everybody's fucking up. We found our third marker first, and it's supposed to be like a 2 or 3 day thing, right? And the good teams, like you do it in the classroom for a couple of days, and then a team goes out, team comes back, team goes out, and some of the guys who weren't as good as us in the classroom were coming right back in 2 days. They just spent one night and came back. Shit, man, we was on our third day, dog. And then our first marker was the third marker, but he couldn't help us. But then after we heard that, he's like, "Look, you guys fucked up." So because we all.
So how long did it take in total?
Oh, we left right after that, dog. He told us he didn't want to be there the morning we wanted to be there. So yeah, it's a lot of fudging going on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he said, "Yeah, good enough."
It's good enough. Yeah.
So you guys were out there and explain to me what happened and who was telling you that it's Bigfoot.
Well, we all heard it.
Right.
Everybody's like, "What the fuck?" And then everything's running, deer, and everything's just like scurrying. But we heard the, how you throw a stick through the branches. You just throw it's just like a big something just flew through the trees, and then that's when he's kind of, and of course we're like, "Fuck out of here,"
Right.
But it was just too weird. And then he was like, "Yeah, you guys missed your other markers. I might know where they are." So we just kind of went and got on our markers and went back to the base because we're out, dude. We're out like 20 miles. Out. You have to make
Out
it
there with Bigfoot.
Well, I wasn't really worried about Bigfoot because, according to that dude, Bigfoot don't bother you. I was worried about the other animals.
So that dude's seen Bigfoot before?
I don't know if he's seen him before, but he just said he don't. But he just lets you know when you've gone too far in the woods.
Really?
Like nobody
I
ever
wanna
says.
believe
Nobody
this.
ever says that he grabs you and do nothing. He just does warning things, just like on those stupid TV shows. You ever watch those shows?
Oh,
Where they go,
yeah.
"Oh, we heard. We think
Yeah.
we heard the Sasquatch."
Yeah.
And you
That's
sit
been
up-
the least successful show ever.
Yes, but
They've been trying to find Bigfoot for like 8 seasons.
I've spent
Still
a
on.
whole day on the road. Like if I'm in my hotel, I spent the whole day with, oh shit, they about to get it. Oh shit. Like, oh my God.
me too.
And then I'm like, it's 5 o'clock.
They got me again.
Yeah, you're like, fuck, man, I
Yeah.
gotta go get something to eat.
Yeah, those aren't so successful.
Yeah.
I mean, the best they get is like a sound.
Yeah, that's it.
But those
that's all I
those
got.
Reality shows, man, they're not really reality. They fuck around. They fuck around with editing. I was on one of those.
What do you do the naked one?
A naked one? Like
The
a
naked
naked
one.
and confused?
What is it
Naked
called?
and
What's it called?
Afraid.
Naked and afraid. I did with you, man. You know how about? I had a uniform on and we all got bugs.
Yeah.
So
naked.
I know.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Oh my God.
The suffering.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if they how bad can you get fucked up and how quickly can they get you to a hospital?
Yeah.
It was really Bigfoot and I was being an asshole all this time. I was like, oh my God, what if that really is Bigfoot? I just been a dick. Because these hardcore Bigfoot believers, that's their footage. The Patterson, but there's so many problems with that. First of all, Roger Patterson literally got arrested for writing a bad check to pay for the camera that he used to film that. They went there specifically to film it. The guy, Bob Hieronymus, who says he was Bigfoot, when you see him walk, he's this big old gangly cowboy looking dude. When you see him walk, he walks exactly like that Bigfoot thing.
You think it was him?
100%.
Huh.
Yeah. They even have a receipt from a fucking gorilla suit that they bought. Have you ever seen him walking side by side? Find a video of Bob Hieronymus walking side by side with the original Patterson footage. So they show the Bigfoot walking and then Bob walking, and you're like, oh. Like, I mean, because he looked like a Bigfoot. The guy was a fucking, there's dudes, the big old cowboy looking dudes, big old fucking farm country strong dudes.
Yeah.
They look like apish. They're just big old fuckers. And this guy was one of those guys. And you see him walking, and he walks right, they superimpose it. They put side by side, rather. And when they do it, you go, oh, yeah, definitely.
What a disappointment.
Do you want to believe that it's real?
No, I don't want to believe.
Did you ever believe it was real?
When I was 8, yeah.
And when you're 9, you're like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, but my God, there's people to this day, those hardcore Bigfoot people are cult members. They really are. They decide to shut off a part of their brain that critically looks at information.
Aren't there any eyewitnesses who strike you as credible? I was talking to Les Stroud about this. Do you know Les? I was talking to Les once about this, I think.
Yeah, Les, he's a very credible guy in terms of like survival tactics. He knows a lot about that. But he didn't see one with his own eyes. He heard something, and he heard noises that sounded chimpanzee-like. Bears make those noises all the time. I've seen bears make those. I've watched bears make those noises. They make them particularly when they're fighting with each other. They sound very much like gorillas. They do that all the time. So if you were alone in the woods and you heard that and you heard smashing and thumping around, you're like, oh my God, there's a gorilla out there. Oh my God, there's some kind of a primate out there. There have been people that have spotted things that are very eerily similar to what you would think is a large bipedal ape. The problem is a lot of these places are heavily wooded and populated by bears, and bears walk on 2 legs all the time. So there's Bob, and there's the Bigfoot, right? I mean, case closed, right?
I never saw that.
I mean, look at that dude. Look, isn't he like what I said? Big old country dude?
Yeah.
I mean, we see that guy walking, and you imagine him with a fucking gorilla suit on. I mean, it doesn't even look good. It looks like shit. I mean, look at that thing. It looks like a guy in a gorilla suit. And in my opinion, everything that looks fake is fake. I've never seen anything that looks fake that's real. I mean, I could be wrong. Yeah. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
But I definitely know that the guy that there's a whole paper trail of buying a gorilla. Is that what he's saying? That's the suit?
I honestly don't know. I've never seen this video. I was trying to find the side by side. I was having a hard time finding it, and this is the one I picked.
Okay, so he's saying that that's what he wore. But that thing does look like it. If you go back to that video, that photo of where he's holding up that suit, that looks pretty fucking similar, man. Pretty fucking similar. And all you'd have to do is put that thing on and walk through the woods. And it's just too convenient. All of it's too convenient. That the fact that the guy went looking for it and found it and filmed it, and the whole thing's corny. It's corny.
Data matters.
Data does matter, and there's no real data in terms of genetics. there's been a lot of like goofy talk that they found like some kind of human DNA and samples of hair. The problem with that is all that DNA's been contaminated. I actually talked to an actual biologist about this, and we did an episode of Joe Rogan Questions Everything for the Sci-Fi Channel on Bigfoot. We hung around with Bigfoot hunters. Duncan and I went out with them and looking for Bigfoot and camping with them and everything. And I just, it's people that are just looking for something, and some of them have had experiences. Some of them have said they've seen things, but it's just, all of it just reeks of horseshit. And it's unfortunate because I think at one point in time it was real. I think almost certainly at one point in time human beings did interact with Gigantopithecus. It was a real animal. You know about that? Mm-hmm. And Gigantopithecus matches exactly like what people talk about when they talk about Sasquatch. It looks exactly like that. An enormous bipedal hominid that was, maybe more than 8 feet tall. And they found out about this thing by accident when a guy was looking in an apothecary shop in China, and he found gigantic teeth that were clearly primate teeth. He's like, where'd you find these? And they go there and they go to the site. And they dig out jawbones that indicate it was bipedal. And so now they know it's a real thing that existed. And I think they date that to, when do they date? I think they date that to 100,000 years ago. When did they date Gigantopithecus to?
Wikipedia says roughly 2 million to 350,000 years.
350,000. I thought it was closer. I thought it was closer to us.
That's just what Wikipedia says. I have to see if there's other disputes or something.
Yeah, see if because I'd read that the carbon date that they did on these teeth. I think they said that was somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 and something thousand years ago. So that would put it, with semi-modern looking human beings. Mm-hmm. So the question is
very modern.
Right. And then the question is, like, how long did it survive? Like, just because you find something, like, say if you find one that's 200,000 years old, doesn't mean that it didn't exist 100,000 years ago or even 50,000 years ago. Like, when was the last one? When did they die off? And when did humans encounter them? And if you look at their range, like, if they found them in Asia and then you look at the Bering landmass and you look at where does it drop off? Well, it drops off in the Pacific Northwest. Like, that's like literally like goes down Alaska, makes its way down the coast, dense forest, which is where a thing like that. So proteins extracted from a roughly 1.9 million year old tooth of the aptly named Gigantopithecus is a close relative to modern orangutans. So protein comparisons amongst living fossil apes suggest that Gigantopithecus and orangutan forerunners diverged from a common ancestor between 10 and 12 million years ago.
Jeez.
But when did it die off?
It says the same thing. It says they hadn't found anything from the
300,000
late
years ago.
Pleistocene era. They only have this from the early part of it.
Okay, so it said the fossils date from around 2 million to almost 300,000 years ago. The sizes of individual teeth and jaws indicate that it weighed between 200 and 300 kilograms. That's a big fucker. Interesting. So that was Bigfoot. So if humans did make it to the point where we had language and the ability to communicate ideas, they probably would communicate about all these creatures that they encountered, and that would be one of them.
Yeah.
But the actual like Patterson footage Bigfoot, that's horseshit. There's just too many hunters out there, too many hikers
Who would have seen something?
Yeah, they don't see anything.
Yeah.
No, I've talked to many people that have spent they've spent months in the backwoods. I know multiple guys that do, like my friend Adam Greentree from Australia. Every year he comes to America and he'll do a remote wilderness elk hunt solo. And he live streams it. He puts it like pieces of it on his Instagram. And he was out there for 28 days. He did see a grizzly bear a couple years back, which is not supposed to be there in the
Where?
San Juan Mountains of Colorado. Mm-hmm. But that's close to Wyoming, and Wyoming is a habitat for grizzlies, and it makes sense that grizzlies would go across the border and make their way in there. And there's been historical sightings of things that people thought were grizzly bears there, but no Bigfoots. None. Zero. You'd think somebody would get a camera footage shot of it, like from these trail cams or camera traps or something. I mean, nothing.
And you personally never heard or experienced anything?
No. Like a Bigfoot thing?
Yeah.
You don't think I would say that first? That'd be the first thing
Maybe
I
you're
would
holding
say.
out, Joe.
No. Was Michael Landon Aquaman?
Patrick Duffy.
Patrick Duffy was Aquaman.
Man from Atlantis.
Man from Atlantis.
I
That's
saw
right.
the first thing, dude, the first time I ever saw something being filmed in California. I had just come out from Ohio. It was 1976.
Whoa.
And traffic was all blocked off at the Malibu Pier. And I got out of and I saw the lights. It was in the daytime. It was so long ago they still had lights for daytime shooting. And they were about to do a stunt where Patrick Duffy, as the man from Atlantis, was going to jump off the Malibu Pier. And I was so fucking excited.
I used to try to swim like him. Because remember the man from Atlantis? He would swim like a porpoise.
He swam like a porpoise. And my favorite thing was what made him from Atlantis was this part of his body had a web.
Yes.
That's it. This was it. Right here. That was all I had.
And couldn't he breathe underwater?
He could breathe underwater, but that was all they could afford with the special effects.
It's a webbing between his thumb and forefinger.
I'm so into Atlantis. I'm like a big Atlantis guy anyway.
Are you really?
Oh yeah, fuck, I love it. I'm trying to figure out where it was. What do
They
you
think they found it. They think they found something that represents exactly what the depictions of Atlantis were, like these rings, concentric rings. They think that there's some place. Oh God, I want to say off Spain, off the coast of Spain.
But isn't our guy Graham saying that basically Atlantis was the pre-existing civilization, and it was not an island or one place; it was all of it.
Yeah, that's what they think. But it's all speculation. But whatever it was, there's so many different versions of that. So many different versions of this like spectacular seaport civilization that was destroyed in the flood. Like the flood of the Bible, like Noah's Ark, there's an ancient story called the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, and in that story is a very similar story about a flood. And this is one of the things that Graham Hancock points to, that there's all these civilizations that talk about
that had no interaction with each other in theory, and yet they all have the same oral histories. I did a show with my boys called The Low Files, and it was basically it was an excuse for my boys and I to run around in a souped-up Raptor around the country and explore urban legends.
Oh wow!
And it was Anthony Bourdain meets Scooby-Doo. That's what it was. It was a fucking dream come true.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
It was a dream come true.
What network was this for?
A&E. They were great that they let us do it, but it couldn't have been a worse fit. When they put us with ancient aliens for one night, we blew the roof off the place.
Really?
And we got to look for the wood ape. We got to look for Bigfoot. We did poltergeists.
The Low Files.
See if you can find the opening credits for the Low Files. It's one of my proudest moments.
What year is this?
Like 4 years ago. Let's see if they have it.
Give me some volume on this.
Spooky legends and scary mysteries.
Are we gonna get in trouble for using Blue Oyster Cult?
Wait, Joe didn't see my homage. The very, very end. My homage to Hawaii Five-0. It's the very last 30 seconds of the clip. You have to see it because I'm sure you remember this great shot from Jack Lord's credits in the end of Hawaii Five-0. Where would it be? It's right at the end. Go over from here, right here. Watch, here it comes. Do you remember that shot in the balcony?
I do. That's why you did it.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
I know. I designed that whole credit sequence. I got the song. I did the whole. It's one of my favorite things I've done.
Blue Oyster Cult. Don't Fear the Reaper.
It's best.
It's a great fucking song. So, what are the subjects? You went for Bigfoot?
We did Bigfoot twice. We did Bigfoot up in Northern California in Walnut Creek, the famous the Patterson-Gimlin film was shot. We did turns out the wood ape of Arkansas, Oklahoma is the most active place. And that was where we had some really radical experiences where I heard stuff. And
you heard
Matthew,
stuff?
Oh yeah, I heard like lip popping, and chest beating.
Really? Like you really think it was real?
I heard chest beating. I don't know.
You know who made a great fucking Bigfoot movie? Bobcat Goldthwait.
What?
Yup. He made a great Bigfoot movie.
Come on.
Scary Bigfoot movie. What is it called again? Do you remember? Willow Creek.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did you remember? You ever seen? Okay, what is this?
He did it like Blair Witch style.
I'm writing that down. I love that.
It's fucking good, man.
We had a great time, and it's all these. We went with all these guys who are like real legit people. They're like regular people, and they spend their time out in the woods, and they know how many are out there, and it was crazy. Matthew, my youngest son, through the thermal imaging, saw him hiding, like doing the thing where they hide behind the tree.
So you really think that Bigfoot's real?
I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. Like the slogan for the Low Files was, "It's more fun to believe."
It definitely is more fun to believe.
And that's really where I come down on it. It's like, I don't have a dog in the fight, but it's way more fucking fun.
For sure. Way more fun. I want Bigfoot to be real. I've always wanted it to be real. The problem is the people looking at it also want it to be real.
Yes.
They're trying so hard. They see shadows. They think that are Bigfoot. There's some interesting things. There's some interesting things in terms of like dermal ridges they found on footprints. And there's
and there's a lot of hair samples and shit that come back and they don't know what they got them from.
Not really.
Really?
See, yeah, I looked into that.
Oh, tell me everything.
I did a show called Joe Rogan Questions Everything for Sci-Fi. And me and my buddy Duncan went up to the Pacific Northwest. And we brought stuff to real biologists, and we actually had samples analyzed. They're all bare, and then when they say that there's some human or primate DNA, it's always contaminated. It's like the chain of custody between the actual piece of hair and getting it to the lab is always contaminated.
Right, yeah.
There's no one just stops.
No, it's next to their granola bars and their backpacks that they're hiking out. Yeah.
If you touch something, you get your sweat on it, and it could show up as human DNA or animal DNA mixed with human DNA. It's the problem is the people that are into it. The real problem is they want to believe so fucking bad that they just have this crazy confirmation bias, and they only look at the good things.
Well, my favorite episodes of the Low Files were the ones where we didn't find shit. They were my favorite
because having fun.
Because it's just a dad and two idiot kids, having a blast.
The thing about Bigfoot that's interesting is Native Americans had more than 100 different names for that animal.
Yes,
and they don't have names for other mythical creatures. And then on top of that, there was an actual animal called a Gigantopithecus, and it was a huge ape-like creature that stood on two legs and walked upright and was probably some sort of, looked like orangutan-like. It probably looked exactly like what we think of as Bigfoot. It was an actual real animal. Have you ever seen the images of that?
I have, and it's funny, there's the deep connection between Native Americans and that legend is really, really profound. Like I've had... In one of the episodes that we did, we talk with some of the elders, and they would say, "No, one reached through the window and touched my chest," and like it's like you're like, this guy's not crazy. I'm not talking to a crazy person,
right? But they also have peyote.
Well, that's
Native
true.
Americans have other shit.
That's true.
Would let you see Bigfoot. Maybe that's the thing. Like you only see Bigfoot. Bigfoot's real, but he's interdimensional. You only see him when you're on drugs. That could happen. That absolutely could be real. Like if you get on the right psychedelics, you'll meet aliens.
Well, it's funny. Les Stroud.
Yeah.
He did that show about
Survivor Man Bigfoot. Yeah.
But it just went away.
Bro, that show, I love Les Stroud. I love him. I love Survivor Man. But that show was so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
He had a guy on the show that is known in the Bigfoot world as being full of shit.
Yeah.
Which is bad. Like if the Bigfoot world's pretty open-minded. I mean, this is one of the things that I wanted to bring up about that 411 The Hunted thing. There's audio recording that was supposedly taken from the 1970s from Northern California. I want to say Sonoma? I don't remember where it was. It was somewhere in Northern California, but they call them the samurai sounds. The samurai, and it's the weirdest shit ever, man. It's like these guys had this spot that they would go into the mountains, and they would hunt every year. And they built this structure out there, and then they brought recording equipment, and they claimed to have recorded sounds of these animals, these Bigfoot. And that these Bigfoot were around them all the time while they were up there. Now, what's crazy about it is the sounds are so weird. It sounds like someone pretending to be Japanese that doesn't actually speak Japanese. Yeah. Have you ever heard it? No. We'll play it for you. It's because it's the weirdest shit. It sounds so strange and so fake, but like they have these quote unquote experts that say the human voice is not capable of making sounds remotely similar to this. The range is, which doesn't make any sense if you know who Michael Winslow is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I know.
That guy that guy went on.
He does a woman peeing when she goes to the bathroom.
He does everything.
Yeah, he does everything.
He did Led Zeppelin. He played Whole Lotta Love with his mouth.
Yeah.
And it sounds incredible. But this samurai sound, like there's these loud whoops, whoops, and these guys are like in the foreground, like the guys who are recording, they're trying to communicate with these things. They sound so calm. I mean, if there really was giant fucking 8-foot apes out there wandering around, like, 200-300 yards away from you, screaming and whooping and talking, would you really, and you're in the woods, would you really be so calm? Wouldn't you be freaking the fuck out with these guys? Do you have it?
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure I find the right thing because I'm stumbling across some traps.
Oh.
Like people are fucking around on the internet.
I wish I could remember the gentleman's name.
Well, I think I have it, is all I'm saying. So, Ronald J. Moorhead and Alan Berry, maybe? Is that right?
Yes, Ron Moorhead. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. The Sierra Mountains. That's what it is.
All right.
And so, it's the weirdest shit ever. Just listen to this. You're going to...
I read what it could be, but we'll listen first.
It could be bullshit. That's what it could be.
That sounds like all aboard.
Listen to the guy. This is, hold on, stop. This is a terrible version of it.
Wow.
There's a better version of it where you can hear the guys really clearly. The people talking. I don't know why that's so scratchy. But they're like, they're over by the lake. Like they're talking like that. And they hear blah, 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 this very strange sound.
And they're being calm about it.
Yeah. And these, supposed vocal experts are analyzing it. The human body is incapable of making such sounds. And that area of... You got it?
I don't know. It says HD. I don't
Okay,
know if
we'll
it's
hear
better.
In for Nightville.
Yeah. They're knocking. That's another thing that Sasquatch do. They knock. That one's weird. Scoot ahead a little bit and hear the samurai sounds. Still sounds terrible. Anyway, these people believe that shit. Les Stroud was balls deep in this. Balls
with that guy.
Deep. Apparently, he had an experience, and I talked to him about his experience. It's pretty interesting. He was in, not with that guy, but he was in Alaska, and apparently he heard some crazy noises, like some monkey sounds outside of his, in the middle of nowhere. No one was anywhere near, and he said he heard something run away, some bipedal sound of something running away. But again, even though he's an experienced woodsman, and he's a guy who's, camped out countless nights in the middle of nowhere and survives in the middle of nowhere and documents it. Like, he's the reason why those survivor shows exist.
Yeah.
Because that guy literally would starve to death and try to eat, like, bark and whatever the fuck he could for 7. You could see his face, like, sinking in. He was losing weight. I mean, he really did do that. He did all sorts of different things to try to survive and then documented how he was doing it and what he would do. But he got obsessed with Bigfoot and then developed that Bigfoot show. And unfortunately, a lot of people lost a lot of faith in him because of that. They're like, no, you're the legit survivor guy, and now you're doing this show, and this is why it's ridiculous. There was one episode of the show where they had this guy who he was with who had video of a Sasquatch, like high definition video, and it looks so fake.
Yeah.
It's like he's like the Sasquatch is looking at him through the woods, and he's like, there he is. And it's a guy with a mask on.
That's how he goes. He yells out, "I'm a Sasquatch." You're like, oh god, he just yelled that out.
Oh, yo. Makes the samurai noise. But this, the guy who had the video is known to be like full of shit, and here he's got this guy on a show, and then he, is this real? You be the judge. Like, yeah, I'm gonna say it's not real. It's a guy with a fucking mask on.
I think I did read that guy was very not respected.
Yes,
in that
by the Bigfoot community.
Yeah.
The Bigfoot community, again, very open-minded.
Yeah, very just into everything.
This other thing, like they would see trees that would fall over like in certain patterns, and they were convinced that Sasquatch was leaning these trees against each other.
I thought it was to let you know where not to go.
Yeah. They had this idea. I mean, it's all theory, right? This idea.
Yeah, I think I've been following the wrong guy, dude. I believe all the stuff that you like's fake. I'm like, yeah. I only watched that Les Stroud one because of that other guy.
Well, I want it to be real. That's the thing.
I do too.
If someone had a convincing Bigfoot encounter where they caught it on video, where I was like, holy shit, what is that? Like, what is that? Or there was something, but there's nothing. Like, I've talked to a lot of those people when I did this show called Joe Rogan Questions Everything for Sci-Fi, and me and Duncan Trussell actually went camping in the Pacific Northwest. We didn't really camp. We pretended to go camping, and then we went to a hotel.
Yeah.
And then we came back the next morning, like, well, rough night of camping. But we were out there for days trying to look for Sasquatch and talking to people that hunt for Sasquatch. And the one conclusion that we came to is it's a bunch of unfuckable white dudes. Like, that's
just out there.
just out there camping.
Yeah.
It's just, but the desire for it to be real is so strong.
It would change. I watched, like that Finding Bigfoot show. I used to always think, because people are like, why is it on? I'm like, I don't know, man, because it's fun to watch. And if they find him, the world is different now. If they come back with Bigfoot, everything's different.
Everything's
getting different with the alien thing.
Yeah.
The fact that they're saying that's like true, you're like, it's a lot, dude. That's a lot to take. If we get, I know that they have the videos and stuff, the aliens, but like if we get up straight up, start talking to one, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, here's something that came out today, Jamie. I'm going to send you this because Sagar and Jetty from Rising on the Hill and I have been going back and forth with this, and I found this today and sent it to him. It's I'll send it to you right now, Jamie. It says paradigm-shifting UFO tech that alters space-time is operable. U.S. Navy Chief Tech Officer. So it's some story that I didn't bother looking into because I saw it when I was on my way out the door, and I was like, what in the fuck is this? Because there's been all these sightings of these things that move in some weird way. Paradigm-shifting UFO tech. There's these things that move in this weird way that don't show any propulsion system. And, due to censorship, please join us on Telegram. I'm going to say, documents obtained by the Drive show the revolutionary technology that has capability to alter space-time may actually be operable, according to the Naval Aviation Enterprise Chief Technology Officer, Dr. James, how do you say that name? Sheehy?
Why is operable in quotes? What is that?
I don't know. Good question. Reflect on why is technology that has the potential to change the entire human experience for the better always used for the defense purposes and military applications? What are the betterments? What about the betterment of humanity? Yeah. I don't know. But it's Christopher Mellon, who's that guy who keeps coming up with all this UFO tech stuff. Can you scroll back up, please?
Someone's just like writing. I was reading through Twitter. It's like a story. It's not really like an article.
Right. Twitter feed of Christopher Mellon, the former Deputy Assistant Defense Secretary for Intelligence from 1997 to 2002. Doing so, I came across an interesting post from the Drive regarding documents they received via the Freedom of Information Act regarding a space-time modification weapon developed by the U.S. Navy, which apparently has already gone through experimental testing. This in turn led me to evidence suggesting that other revolutionary type of technology that could no doubt be used to change the world for the better, blah, 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 was already operable. Yeah, I don't know. But this is what, if you pay attention to the UFO world, do you pay attention to that shit at all?
Not like actively.
There's a guy named Bob Lazar. And
I do know that from, because you talked to him.
Yeah. It was one of the weirdest conversations I've ever had. Because you're like, oh man, are you crazy? Are you full of shit? Or is this real?
Yeah.
Because if it is real,
it's wild.
This thing is a special effect created, a guy who was a special effect artist. Do you remember his name, Jamie, who made this thing for us? This gentleman, he's got a designs by Perry at Instagram, and he created this thing, and this is like a scale model of what Bob Lazar supposedly worked on. He was hired by the United States military to work at Area S4, which is part of the Area 51, Site S4. Site 4 was this place where he allegedly worked to back engineer these spaceships. And the way these things moved around was exactly how this Christopher Mellon guy, or this article rather, that quoted him as describing, that they used some sort of gravity, space-time bending technology. So they didn't use a propulsion system like a rocket, which shoots flame out the back. They bent time in front of them and just would shoot instantaneously to wherever the fuck they wanted to go.
So you'd be like instantly be able to go.
Instantly. What's fucked is that there was an instance off of the coast of San Diego in 2004 where a Navy pilot by the name of Commander David Fravor, who I've also had on the show, experienced this thing that they call the Tic Tac UFO. They tracked it with radar. They tracked it with the camera systems on their plane, and they even have video footage of this thing. It went from 80,000 feet above sea level to 1 in a second.
Wow.
That's the amount of time that it takes radar to do the blip, 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 blip. So in that time, it traveled 80,000 feet. They have no idea how the fuck it did that. It shows no propulsion, heat signature. They took video footage of this thing, and it went from there. It took off where they couldn't even follow it with their eye, just disappeared to the predetermined destination where they were supposed to coordinate later. So it's like it's reading their tracking systems or reading where they were going. And the people that worked on the aircraft carrier were telling the fighter pilot, like, we've been seeing these things over, we see them like every couple of weeks. We have no idea what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
And they just say, well, there it is. What are we going to do about that?
Yeah. I like to picture an alien in that Tic Tac. He's like, whoa, slow it down, dude. You're kind of crazy right now. Like he's having a bad day in there. Because he's got to be having just a day. Whoever's in there, some kind of day. Maybe having a day. It's a lot to... Yeah, I don't know. You think it's like a lot to just tell people? Like if they had to be like, to tell like just Earth, all of us humans on Earth, to like wrap our head around what would happen?
I think, what do you say if that's all you know? Like if you are the military and all you know is that something can do these things, something can move at this speed. The New York Times had a front page article about it a couple of years ago. And basically they're saying, hey, there are videos of things moving in a way that we don't understand, that aren't exhibiting a heat signature that indicates a propulsion system. We don't know what it is. And then there's the COVID-19 bill that just got passed, and one of the provisions in the COVID-19 bill is that they have 180 days to release all the information they have about UFOs.
That's a lot,
But I don't know if they're going to do anything with. I think they're going to do nothing.
That's funny
with
that it's in this.
They go, yeah, we don't have
COVID-19
anything.
bill.
Yeah,
like that's
a lot of weird shit was in the COVID-19 bill, like foreign aid. There's a lot of foreign aid to Pakistan, aid to all these countries. It's like people just to get it passed. They're like, okay, we'll say yes, but I want you to do a little favor for me and put this in the bill.
Yeah,
and there's just shows you how greasy politicians are.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
yeah.
But that's allegedly what all that UFO technology is.
Wow.